Hello Gemini, and welcome to your reading for the weeks of March 12th through 25th, 2024. I am now doing 6 signs per week, so I'm going to do half the signs one week and half the signs the following week. So you will get a reading from me every other week then, and this will cover a 2-week period of time. So I've had to make that change just because trying to do 12 every week, being that this isn't the only thing that I do, that got to be a bit problematic. So this is a better way to make sure I'm giving everybody a good reading. This is a reading for you if you are Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising, or have some other significant Gemini placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'm hoping this is a good reading for you this week. I've laid out the cards in advance. I do a full horoscope spread, so I follow the 12 houses of astrology. And the deck that I mainly use is the Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche deck. And I usually clarify with a tarot deck. This week, though, I'm going to use the Black Moon astrology cards, mainly because we're about to come into a period of time where the astrological landscape is going to get very confusing and complicated. We're going to have 2 eclipses, one lunar eclipse on the 25th of March, and then there will be a solar eclipse on the 8th of April. Plus Mercury retrograde begins again on April the 1st with its pre-shadow period starting on March the 18th. We're going to have a very long run of dealing with Mercury because the retrograde period ends April 24th, but the post-shadow period goes through a whole lot of the month of May. So there's a whole lot going on astrologically, and I think some people are already starting to feel the effects of some of it, even though we haven't quite gotten there yet. So, and of course, those aren't the only things that are going on, but those are some of the big things that we need to look out for. So we're going to be covering that. So I'm using the Black Moon astrology cards, and then I'm going to clarify with an oracle deck, and the sort of summary at the end will be with the essential oil oracle. I'm going to use that deck. So, okay. So, right, let's see. Anything else I wanted to mention to you? Yes, if you do like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss these videos, especially since they're coming out in a slightly different schedule now. If you want to leave me a comment, feel free. And I do have links to my website, my social media, and other things in the description box below if you would like to check that out. Okay, so first house, Aries energy. Aries has to do with your personality, how you present yourself to the world, how other people see you. And you have the Sphinx card with the Gemini card with your own energy right here, okay? So when Gemini shows up, when you are showing up in the first house, if you actually have Gemini rising, then this would definitely be, this would be even doubly be your card. But Gemini, of course, is a very friendly energy, very friendly, very communicative. Gemini sometimes has things that you may sometimes show 2 different sides of yourself. So you may have, you may behave one way with some people and then a different way with another group or at another time. So you could be having that kind of dual, communicative, but there's also, I always feel with the air signs there's a little bit of detachment there as well. So this is not, so this is definitely a very strong mental and analytical energy and not necessarily a very deeply heart-centered one. Not that you might not have feelings about things, but certainly you are, this is definitely a chatty, friendly kind of energy, but not necessarily one that gets particularly attached. And it could be this kind of dualistic, showing one thing to one or the other. We have the Sphinx here with it too. And Sphinx has to do with secrecy and with hiding things. So, or at least with things that are secret or things that you are waiting for. Because this is a passive energy. This suggests that you're kind of waiting and seeing. And that goes along for me with this idea of with Gemini. It kind of goes along with the idea that you may be hiding a certain aspect of yourself, because to me this all has a lot to do with secrecy. So there may be a part of yourself that you don't want to reveal to others right now, so you may be showing this more friendly kind of face to people, but perhaps there are things you are keeping back to yourself. So it was a rather long explanation of the first house, but yeah, it's interesting dynamic there. Second house, we have Taurus energy, and Taurus is primarily about finances. And the good news here is that you have the Earth card. So Earth definitely has to do with money. So the fact that you are seeing the money card in the money house definitely seems to indicate that if finances have been an issue, this definitely indicates money will be coming in. Now we have it with the 8th house card, and the 8th house is Scorpio energy. And this does have to do with things that are very, very deep transformations, but it also has to do with joint financial arrangements. So I don't know, this suggests to me that there could be money coming in from another source. This could be a joint situation where perhaps you are either receiving a gift, sometimes this is a legacy or a gift of some kind like that, maybe from family, or there could be some other kind of way in which you are pooling your resources with somebody else. Again, it'll be different for different people, but we do have this energy of this very intense transformational energy. So this also could indicate that there is going to be big changes coming to your money and how you deal with your money. This is a card of, as they say at the bottom here, I don't know if you can read it, endings and beginnings. So there could be some substantial changes, but typically the 8th house with money has to do with monies that may be received from other people. It could be, like I said, it could be a gift, it could be a legacy, or it could just be some other kind of joint financial arrangement. So take that as it resonates. 3rd house is your own energy, Gemini energy, and this is communication, short distance travel, self-employment if you are in your own business. This can also have to do with sibling relationships, brother-sister relationships. Okay, so you have Bast with Pisces here. Now when Pisces shows up, there's something that is not clear, okay? And Bast is a card of intuition. Now again, this is a very friendly and gregarious kind of card. The Bast energy is usually about, well, it is about healing. It is about mental healing, for one thing, okay? So there could be communications or conversations that are of that nature. This is also a very strongly intuitive card, and Bast can also have to do with regard to this. I feel like it can has to do with like wanting attention. So in other words, being looked at or enjoying having people, not in a kind of vain narcissistic way, but just you like to get attention for the things that you're doing. You like people to notice what you're doing or to see, especially if it's something that you feel particularly good about or proud of. But we have it with Pisces. So Pisces could indicate something that this is kind of a very dreamy and imaginative kind of energy. It can indicate that there may be a lack of clarity about things, in which case Bast here could indicate a need to follow your intuition, okay? Because maybe you're going to know, maybe there's going to be less, in spite of the chattiness here in the 1st house, there may be less that's being said directly and more that's being said indirectly or through your intuitive knowing. It can also indicate that you're very much in your imagination these days. So I don't know, maybe there's this if this has to do with business, then I feel like on the plus side, this could be you are maybe imagining, dreaming big, thinking about other things that you might do, other ideas that you might have for networking or doing things. On the potentially negative side, it could be that maybe there's too many ideas and not enough that's being put on the ground. Okay, so I think it's always good to dream and imagine big, but then the question becomes about bringing it down to earth and kind of bringing it into reality. So any of those things could apply there, depending on the situation. 4th house is Cancer. This is your home, your physical home where you live. It's also your sense of security, how you feel, quote unquote, at home. It also has to do with the family and your ancestry, and in particular with the mother. Okay, so we have Nepenthes with the sun. Now, Nepenthes in a family house. Nepenthes can indicate this idea, like we have this Pisces energy over here. This could be something that you're waiting to happen, but has not happened yet. With a family situation, though, Nepenthes sometimes is sister energy or somebody who's just a very close, reliable friend. But you've got this Nepenthes energy, so you can, again, it may or may not apply to somebody's sister, who may be a factor in something here. But we do have this sun card, okay? So the sun, this is where the light is shining, okay? So there seems to be some kind of a spotlight on your home or a family situation, but it's a very positive card, so this is not a negative event that's taking place. It just seems like there could be something that's highlighted there. Now, the fact that I'm seeing this joint finances, I don't know. I don't know if there's something going on with the family where there's, there's something, enough to share, or there's just that somebody has some good news or good fortune. Not entirely, again, it'll be different for everybody because this is a general reading. But it could be that maybe what Nepothys is saying here is it could be saying that whatever this is, whatever this spotlight is, especially if you're looking at this, listening to this reading and saying, I don't know about that. The Nepothys in that case would mean, well, it's something that is coming, it's around the corner, but it has not gotten here yet. Okay, so it's something that's going to happen, but hasn't happened yet. So, yeah, so, but nonetheless, I do feel like there's some good news that's going to be coming in with regard to Homer family, but maybe something that is not quite on your radar yet. Okay, 5th house, Leo energy. This has to do with creativity, with children, if you have children or you're planning to have children, love affairs, if that's something you're looking for. So everybody is, everyone's different, but, and obviously not all of those things are going to apply to you. But we have, okay, so we have the Ta card here, first of all. Okay, so Ta is in the house of creativity, I would suggest, this is Capricorn energy, this is Saturn energy, but it's definitely, this is the card of the craftsman, okay, the person who was the builder. So this could literally be somebody having some kind of creative project, like literally like somebody building a house or building a structure or just building something. With their making use of their hands, manual dexterity. Okay, so there could be some kind of a talent or creative talent that you're doing that involves use of your hands. Okay, use of your hands rather than your mind. Not that your mind might not be a part of it, but kind of when we talk about people who do things that are hands-on rather than say more bookish or intellectual, this would be more the hands-on kind of creativity. Okay, this can indicate a male presence or the finer qualities of masculinity, because Ta is sort of the quintessential male in the Cartouche deck. So it is possible that there is a male that is it is part of the equation here. Now we have it with the 3rd house card. Okay, so the 3rd house card, again, that's your energy, that's Gemini. So 3rd house, this is the card of messages, and again, it has all the same attributes of this 3rd house here that we just talked about. So I feel like this may be saying, if we're talking about a love affair situation, then this card would indicate something where there's friendly communication and messages back and forth. Not necessarily something that's going to escalate to the level of a love relationship at this point, but it may be a situation where there's a friendship or a back and forth that right now is just friendly. Whether or not it's going to become more than friendly, that would remain to be seen at this point. But it does seem like there may be messages. If it doesn't have to do with a love affair, like I said, it could have to do with a child. It could be a situation with a child where there's messages coming in. Or again, this may have to do with a creative project or something that you're working on. And again, Ta has this energy of manual dexterity. But if that's not the case, if you say, well, no, that's not what I'm doing, that's not what I'm working on, then I would say that Ta could also represent just the fact that you are diligently working towards something. This is a card of persistence. Like I said, it's Capricorn energy, and Capricorn builds things, whether it's literally physically building something or metaphorically building something, just through continued patience and persistent energy. So so take that as it applies to whichever aspect of the 5th house applies here. Creativity, children, love. Could be any one of those things, but it's definitely a very highly visible house, and it does suggest that there's been a lot of communications coming in that area, or that there will be. 6th house is Virgo energy, so this is about your health. It's about work. If you actually work for somebody, this is the house of service, so it's either work that you do, paid employment for somebody, or it could even be volunteer work. This is also the house of worry and anxiety. Okay, so we have wing disc with Sagittarius. Okay, so any kind of work that you're doing, if you're somebody who's looking for work right now, or considering your work situation, Sagittarius indicates that you need to work independently, okay? This is definitely more the idea of somebody who is like a remote worker. So you may be looking for some kind of work that gives you and also Sag has to do with flexibility. So, saying, oh, I'm going to have regular hours like 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 is not going to cut it for you. Okay, that's not the kind of work that you are you looking for or that you're suited for right now. This does seem like some kind of work that may have that kind of flexibility and give you independence. And the fact that you have it with the winged disc suggests to me that, this is something of a success. So if you have been looking for work, okay, maybe you are going to find a situation that's going to allow you this kind of freedom with your schedule. If you have been worried about something, if you're not looking for a job, or if that's not a factor here, then I feel like this could be saying that there's something you're worried about. If there is a worry or concern, wing disc would definitely indicate overcoming it. This is like the sun. It's like the sun card here. There's definitely a sense of victory, success. And again, whatever it is, if it's not specifically about a job, it definitely is about a situation in which you are free, and which you can expand your horizons and perhaps learn new things. So it's very good in that sense. For a health issue, if there was a health issue, then definitely this is a good card that would suggest being able to overcome whatever that is. Seventh house. Want to get everything organized here. Libra energy. So this has to do with partnerships, marriages, business partnerships, any kind of legal contracts. The relationships of the seventh house are different from the fifth, because this is more of an unlegalized situation over here. This would be more about a legalized situation. Or if you are somebody who's dating or maybe single and wondering about your prospects for marriage, that would also be covered by this house. And we have Lotus with Aries. Okay. So for some of you, this could mean a partner who's an Aries. Doesn't have to. Now, if we look over here, if you're somebody who is in a relationship and you're wondering whether a relationship over here will become a marriage relationship, again, over here, this seems to indicate something that's just going to be a friendly back and forth. Though Aries may indicate somebody who's ready to take a risk. Mars energy in relationships can sometimes be a little tumultuous. But this is somebody, I feel like if you are in a relationship where you want to take a relationship to the next level, Aries would say that you can push, just don't push too hard. And one of the tactics you do not want to use if you are trying to bring somebody around to a more serious relationship is don't play games where you're going to make one person jealous or play them off against somebody else, because that doesn't really fly very well with Aries, okay? If you're already married or already in a relationship, then Aries would suggest some aspect of either your marriage, maybe this has to do with your partner, but this is somebody who is is more active than passive, somebody who's planning to take active, I could say aggressive action, but it doesn't have to be aggressive. It can just be somebody who's just kind of made up their mind to step up, take a risk, and do something, okay? So this could be a marriage partner, this could be a business partner, or there could be a situation within a marriage where, somebody needs to kind of step up to the plate and take action. Now, you do have it with Lotus, so Lotus usually shows up when there has been some kind of, some kind of anxiety about something, or because Lotus has to do with calming the mind. So there could be anxieties that need to be calmed here. Lotus can also mean that maybe your partner is a person who can make you feel calm and grounded. Especially if there's a lot of this fiery energy that's going on, there may be a need to just kind of relax, center, and chill in a particular situation. So take that as it resonates there. Eighth house is Scorpio energy, and this has to do, as I mentioned, where we had the eighth house card, transformations, big changes, big endings and beginnings, life, death kind of stuff, and also other people's money. And yeah, again, we have this fire energy. We have Mars with fire, actually double fire. So you had fire here, you have Aries, and then you've got Mars and fire. So you are definitely moving, Gemini, towards a period of action, okay? This is a card of force. Sometimes Mars comes up when you have to fight for something that you want. But with fire, I think in this house, I feel like it's more of a transformation where there's certain places where you may need to fight for something or stand up for yourself. There also may be places where you need to set firm boundaries. Fire, I feel like it can inspire and it can also burn things up. Okay, so this can be something that inspires you creatively. Maybe you're going to be fired up, quote unquote, to do something, which would be great, or to make a new start or some kind of a new beginning. But I feel like this is also about getting rid of things that no longer belong in your life. So yeah, this definitely feels to me like there's going to be a lot of action and possibly a lot of inspiration that's going to be coming into your sphere of influence soon. Ninth house, this is Sagittarius energy. So Sag, we mentioned we got Sag over here. Sag energy has to do with Jupiter energy. So this has to do with travel. So it's long distance travel rather than the short distance travel we talked about in the third house. It can have to do with education, higher education particularly, or furthering your education, educational institutions. And it can also have to do with religious institutions or anything having to do with philosophy, religion, or deeper thought. As I said, Sagittarius energy is very independent and free. It's expansive. Legal matters sometimes also can fall into this house. Okay, so we have Buckle of Isis with the lunar eclipse. So, as we said, lunar eclipse is this card of change. And this seems to indicate something coming in that's going to be very unexpected. Now, as I mentioned, we are having a lunar eclipse on the 25th of March, which is, I think, I said this reading is from the 12th to the 25th. So this is an area where the lunar eclipse might be affecting you. And eclipses always bring about change. Now, lunar eclipses, I feel like that change may be more immediate, whereas solar eclipses, it could take up to 6 months for something to kind of manifest there. But this suggests to me that there's going to be some kind of a change. Now, with the Buckle of Isis here, Buckle of Isis indicates this is a growth with the sacrifice card. So this suggests that efforts that you are making towards something are going to be rewarded. Now, this could be working towards a degree. This could be working towards some kind of certification. It could be plans you're trying to make for a trip. Or this could just be some kind of an old belief or old structure, belief system that you had that maybe you're letting go of, and the kind of spiritual work that you're doing might be yielding fruit at this point. But with the lunar eclipse card, it does seem to indicate that there's going to be something unexpected coming in this area, and that you're going to see that there's going to be more transformation. So again, it's going to be different for everybody, but think about how that might apply there. There does seem like you're going to get some surprises connected to one of these areas. Like I said, long distance travel, education, usually higher ed, or potentially, deeper thought and spiritual beliefs and things like that. I was going to say it could potentially have to do with a legal matter, but I'm kind of getting a no on that. So I think it's more going to be in one of those categories. Okay, 10th house, Capricorn energy. So this is career, fame, reputation, what legacy you're going to leave for the world. Okay, so we have Seth. So Seth indicates that this is going to be an area where there's been a delay, a problem, or obstacle. Now, if I look at the 6th house, which is the other job house, we're seeing the winged disc. So that's good. So I feel like this is not going to be somebody, say, losing their job or something, but there could be some difficulties or maybe delays or obstacles in terms of something you're trying to do with your career. You have it with Anubis, because I always draw a second card with Seth when that shows up. And Anubis would have to do, okay, this could either be a situation where you're going to have to negotiate something, where you're going to have to talk your way through something with somebody. And again, we have your Gemini energy in the 1st house here, so maybe that's what you're doing. This could also indicate a need for protection. Maybe you are protecting yourself. Now, we have it with the Grand Cross card. Now, it's funny, I think... did Taurus get this as well? No, Aries got this as well. Yeah, you have the Grand Provoker, okay? The Grand Cross, actually it's the Grand Cross, which is the Provoker card. So something here is provoking you to make a move, okay? So again, there's this idea of resistance. Remember, we have this Mars energy over here that you may need to fight for something. So, yeah, I don't know. This looks like it's falling. We're seeing changes potentially in this 9th house having to do with higher ed and expanding your horizons, and now in your house, your Capricorn house of your career and your reputation and so forth. It seems like there's a reason maybe you feeling like you have to protect yourself. Like maybe this is the fight we're seeing over here. But whatever's happening right now with respect to this, whatever obstacles you're facing, the Grand Cross card indicates that you are, that whatever is happening right now, whatever resistance you're meeting with, whatever provocation you feel like you're getting, it's trying to push you in a new direction. It's like the universe is saying, okay, there's some change that's needed to be made. And that's manifesting as some kind of maybe problem, difficulty, or crisis. And now it's time to move. Now remember, Anubis is the jackal that jackal-headed god that guides you through the underworld. So there is the idea here that you may be navigating a situation, and that maybe diplomacy, having a sense of humor, trying not to take something too seriously, like especially if there's if there's heated communications involved in something. Anubis is definitely the one who can help you navigate difficult waters. So yeah, I think ultimately it's all moving you in a good direction and towards a good purpose. But there may be some obstacles there right now. 11th house. Okay, this is Aquarius energy. So this is your goals, your destiny, so to speak, and also your friendships, as well as your social networks, business networks, and things like that. Okay, so we have Scarab here. So this could indicate that you're going to have there may be something maybe you wished for or have been working towards. Maybe there's going to be something new now. Maybe you're getting rid of some old thing and now you're working towards something new. This can also indicate new friendships and networking and meeting new people. Now again, you've got this fire. You've got a lot of fire in your chart this time, in your reading. Even the sun here. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of fire energy in this. So fire, again, there's this idea of taking a risk, moving forward, taking action, being bold, making the first move, okay? There's definitely a strong energy of that. So I feel like, yeah, there's this strong motivation to move ahead and to do something new here. Now, if I look at the 12th house, this is the Pisces energy. This is about what you have hidden, what you might be afraid of. I find that this tends to reflect what we are unconsciously worried about, in particular, is what I find with the 12th house, although the 12th house does have a variety of meanings. And it's funny, you have the 12th house card in the 12th house. So, yeah, so this is all the aspects of the 12th house. And again, you had Pisces over here as well. So I do feel like, you may be worried about, being this is the house of imagination, I feel like it could be that maybe you have been kind of in a dream world lately. Maybe you've been imagining things. Maybe you've been very strongly psychic. I mean, over here you do have this with Bastet, so maybe your intuition has been very much on point these days. Now, we do have it with Horus, so which, again, like Bast, has to do with healing. So maybe you've been undergoing a lot of emotional or psychological healing. Maybe you've been doing a lot of what they call excavation work, where you have been trying to deal with past situations and traumas, maybe, and trying to overcome them, because there's a strong family vibe with Horus, okay? And in the 12th house, this would be, again, this is strongly a card of healing, so I feel like that may be what's going on. There could be some issues there that you're excavating here, whether they're fears or whether they're just, like you're thinking about with connection of family. So there is, so that is possible here as well. But yeah, there's definitely, this is called the house of escape, as you see here. So, 12th house is so many possibilities. It's everything from brilliant genius to madness to hidden enemies to moving abroad to, there's a whole lot of nuances to this house. But I'm feeling here, the fact that I'm seeing this Pisces here with Bast over here in your own house of Gemini energy, and we're seeing, again, all this fire energy, this kind of, and this provocation up here in your career sector. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling like, yeah, like there's definitely a sense that there's a lot of ideas floating around, but maybe you're not quite sure yet how to manifest them and bring them into reality. But there's certainly a lot of energy around doing that, or at least certainly a strong desire to push forward and do something. You're certainly being encouraged to push forward. Yeah, and overall you have the Pyramid card. Pyramid definitely has to do with tests and challenges that we may have. So right now we may feel like we're being tested, but this definitely indicates that there will be a good result in the long run. So maybe right now things are not, there's a sense of hold tight and you'll make it in the end. There's a strong initiatory vibe to this. So it is like you're going into something very deeply here. And you have it with the South Node, okay? The Life's Debts card. So this suggests to me that this is about all this fire, you're burning up the rubbish of past issues. And the difficulties you're having here, I feel like it's saying, yeah, this is, the South Node has to do with the past, with past lives, with things that we've already been through that we need to release and let go of. The North Node takes us towards the new direction that we're going in. And here, I feel like with the South Node being the overarching theme, I feel like it's stuff from the past that's coming back, that it's like, okay, now it's time for you to deal with this. And that does make sense with the retrograde coming up. And you're Gemini, so you are Mercury ruled, so you are most definitely going to be affected by retrograde. People who are ruled by Mercury or have strong Gemini in their chart do definitely have a retrograde effect. But Mercury retrograde, again, does not have to be a bad or negative thing. It can bring obstacles and delays and miscommunications, but really it's about reevaluating. Okay, this gives you a chance to look at things again, to see what needs to be released, and to start taking action towards the future that you need to be moving towards. It may not be time to make that move yet, but certainly you are evaluating where action needs to be, where it needs to occur. And it does seem to me like there's a lot of areas that are involved in healing, maybe having to do with friendships, maybe having to do with family, maybe having to do with work, or even even your relationships, where there's some things that need to be, sorted out, settled, and negotiated. So let me pull a essential oil oracle card for you. This is for Gemini. And the card I pulled is called Green Mandarin. Okay, these are the essential oils, their name by name. And I will read to you what the card says. The key word at the top is opportunity. The trigger statement is I doubt it. The true statement is there is hope. And then the message is, with fresh eyes, see the potential within the situation. So yeah, there may be something, if there's South Node energy here, then you may be looking at something, you may be looking at the future, you may feel daunted, you may say, well, no, in the past this happened and it didn't work, and so I can't do this again. And I think this is saying time to let go of that and look at things as opportunities and not look at what the obstacles are. Look, even where there are obstacles, look for where there's opportunities. So I hope this reading was helpful this week, Gemini. If you like this reading, definitely hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you choose, and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss videos. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.